everybody. Good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Monday Night IG Live with me, Dina Hayes-Burke, the Vision Builder. Thank you so much for being here with me for yet another Monday evening. I'm very excited to be here with you. If you are joining for the very first time, if someone invited you, please say hi. I am grateful that you are tuning in, and welcome to the Vision Builder community. If you don't know who I am, again, my name is Dana Hayes-Burke, and I serve this community as the Vision Builder, and I help small business owners in the Caribbean and in the diaspora to create strong and profitable businesses that pay them well now and helps them to leave a legacy for those that they love. And for me, to do that means that it is really an amalgamation of your ability to build a business that is strong in terms of its structure, its model, and its income generating pathways, as well as being able to create something that affords you your ideal life design, living the life that you love and a life of purpose. So welcome Cherise, welcome Mandisa. Today is all about productivity and scheduling. I covered this topic some time ago, perhaps a year ago actually, and I started getting some more questions about how I organize my time and how I am making progress through everything. Welcome to everybody who's coming in. So I said, let's go back into hi Chris, go back into how do you organize your time? And that is one of the major things for us as business owners, right? Some of you all are full-time entrepreneurs, some of you all are working and building your business. So we have to think about what we are doing with our time. Now, if you're a coaching client of mine, you understand that one of the things that we focus on and we look at is your productivity schedule, which is basically how you structure your day. So I want to ask those of you who are on, do you have a proper structure to your day? Do you have challenges in the area of allocating time towards everything that you need to get done in the day? Do you find that sometimes you're slipping? And we're going to go through all of that. Is it challenging for you to manage your day? So while you are responding to me, thank you, Chris. While you're responding to that question, I want to share a thought and an idea with you, right? So a lot of the times we talk about finding time. Sometimes we say, you know what, I'm going to, I'll do that thing when I find the time. And we say that very casually, but finding time is a misnomer. And a misnomer is really an incorrect use of a term, okay? Because the truth is, we're never going to find any more time. Facts. I wish I could find some more time right now. We're never going to find any more time. All of us have 24 hours in a day. You, me, the Pope, the Prime Minister, the President, we all have 24 hours in a day. So what makes a difference? So I'm still looking out for your responses, right? Do you have challenges in terms of maintaining a proper schedule that gets everything done in your day? So I'm looking out for those responses. Even if you're looking at the replay, you can still respond. Okay, right, I see you, Chris. Chris says most times I buy out time from less important things and get things done. I hear you, Chris. I like that term, buy out time, because it's really a transaction, right? You're trading one thing for the other. That actually reminds me of that economic principle, opportunity cost analysis. So for every opportunity, it comes at a cost, right? No opportunity is without a cost. So if I decide to go watch movies, all day, that's an opportunity cost thing that I've done. And it is what it is, right? So, Charisse, I'm glad that you're saying that's one thing you have done. I want to check you with that one, though, because today we're going to look at everything as it relates to time, right? So feel free to tag anybody who you know is usually here, right? So that they know they can be here for this one. So as I said, finding time is a misnomer. We ain't gonna find any more time. It is what it is, 24 hours. The issue is that some of us are better at designating time than others. Some of us are better at designating their time than others. Now, let me preface this by sharing something that I want you to keep in context with me. I am not saying this as someone who has a whole lot of help. Let me be clear. I am not only just running a business, not just running a global business, but I am a wife, I am a mom, and I take care of all the things that go along with that. And this is not to brag, nor is it to diminish anybody else. I want you to understand that I'm not in a context where, I do not have a maid, I do not have domestic help. Will I never get? That's not true. I'm going to get help at some point, but at present, I don't have a maid, I don't have domestic help. I do have admin support in my business, but that's a recent addition. So all along, you all would have been seeing me doing things, utilizing the time that I have, right? Utilizing the same 24 hours that you have, that I have, to get things done. So that means that I cook my meals. My husband cooks from time to time as well. I also do my own laundry. I clean my house. I am involved in taking care of my kids in terms of, there was a whole year and a half, and if you're in Trinidad and a Tilili, a virtual school, doing activities with my kids. Chris mentioned, yes, I am working out. All of those things I am doing. So I'm not saying this again to brag nor to diminish anybody else's experience, but I just want you to understand that when I'm sharing with you, I'm not sharing from a perspective of I have this whole load of help. I'm sharing with you what works for me in terms of helping me to manage my time and get things done, even with all of the hats and all of the checklists of things that need to get done. So we're cool, we're there with me. Send some hearts up, let me know you're all there, you're all following, because I know that the typing takes a little while, so I just want to know that you're there and you're following with me. So how do we actually then get things done, prioritize things, and help and really just accomplish all that we want to accomplish and live the life that we want to live? And that's really important, right? Living the life that you want to live. Because the thing about running your business is that if you do not manage the way that you allocate time, you will spend day and night working and have no quality of life. And I actually believe that quality of life can actually start while you're building a business. We have this idea in our mind that it's only when I become rich, it's only when I hit my $1 million that I can actually then start living my life. And when you are in that situation, when you're in that situation and you think to yourself, or you know that if you don't do certain things in your life, or if you're not working 15 hours a day in your business, that nothing is going to happen, then I want to challenge you that you have a very faulty business model and you need to work on that as soon as you can. Because the truth is that you have to be building a business that can help you to earn income even if you are unable to work. I like the idea that I can go on vacation and still have a business that's functioning, that still has a certain level of connectivity. So how do I structure my day and my time? Well, you all know that I believe in planning. What you may not understand is that in planning my days, I utilize what I call blocks of time, or time blocks. Time blocks help me to add into my life the things that are important and necessary, including those monotonous things that I just called out, like laundry, cleaning my house, cooking my meals, and all of that sort of stuff. Now, I just want you to even imagine this, right? Imagine this scenario that over the past, how many months? 3 months, 4 months? I can't even remember. There was literally no buying of food in Trinidad for the past few months. So it meant that, you know, you want a snack in your house. You want dinner, fancy dinner. You make your own fancy dinner. Chris is in Grenada. Couldn't call him, right? So I had to do all of that on my own. So the thing about it is, you have to understand how to utilize blocks of time to help you to structure your days. And when I use my blocks of time, and maybe in my stories I will show you how I do it, I basically first of all identify the things that are priority areas in my life. Priority areas are my value areas, right? So what are your value areas in your life? So it's very clear in my life, my value areas include my family, okay? It includes my relationship with God. It includes taking care of myself. So those are value areas. Those are non-business value areas in my life that I now have to prioritize in my schedule. How do I do that? By creating blocks of time. So if I look at my schedule, at the top of my day, I have my time for myself and I do have my time for my family. So they actually go into, I actually allocate things like 2-3 hours at a time. That is block for my family, block for myself. Well, you know, that was a little bit compromised during this whole quarantine thing, but I'll explain to you how I dealt with that. And then of course blocks for my business. Other priority areas for me includes, Chris would have mentioned it, like my fitness. Other priority areas includes my education, things learning, always learning, elevating myself. So those are priority areas in my life, and I have to prioritize putting them into my schedule. Now, does everything get placed every single day? No, it doesn't. But by understanding the things that are valuable to you, you are then able to create blocks of time that helps you to get everything done. Does this make sense to you? So if you don't have a blocks of time system, here's what happens, right? The taking care of the children time rolls into the getting ready for work time, rolls into the doing your business time, rolls into your studying time, and then everything now becomes blurred into one, and multitasking is not a thing. Welcome to those of you who are joining. Multitasking is not a thing. Multitasking, I don't know when multitasking was told to us as that is the mark of a high performer, but a high performing person understands how to segment and attack one thing at a time. So for those of you who feel like, okay, I have a really good handle on my schedule, I want to ask you, where in your schedule do you have allocated time for your personal care, your personal development? I'm not talking about your checklist of a to-do list. And this is what we tend to get mixed up, right? We think that if I am checking off everything on my to-do list, I am highly productive, but you're not. So you need to ensure that you have in your schedule things that, blocks of time that represent things that are valuable to you. That's the first thing. The next thing that you want to ensure that you do is then you include as well blocks of time that deals with what is your progress area. Your progress area is like an area that you are looking to grow, develop. It can be an area of education. It can be developing your knowledge. Like for me, my progress area is in my overall health and in my fitness. So that is something that is actually a progress area for me. When I go back to school, come in the upcoming academic year, that's a progress area for me. So what is your progress area? Stagnation happens in your life when you do not prioritize an area of growth. When you don't prioritize an area of growth, stagnation will happen. So how many of you all are feeling stagnant? You are busy, but you are not growing. Are you busy and not growing? We need to have times of growth. The next thing, the next block that you need, so I'm already showing you how you're going to segment your days and your weeks. And even if this will help you to set your goals. So your area of your values, the area of your progress, right? Your area of your progress. Then the next thing is your area of what is your money making activities. Or this is where it's either your job or your job and your business, right? Or your business alone. Okay, so those are the areas that we can find ourselves. Money making activities, your job and your business, or your business alone, depending on where you are at. So then you have that block of time that deals with your money making activity. That is your selling, that's your creating of your content, that is where your deliveries go, that's where your client work goes. That is where those activities find themselves. Okay, so that's not your whole day. Do you see how this is now shaping up? This is not going to be your entire day. You are not going to be in your business from 8 to 4 chasing sales. Like if you're in a physical store, unless you're in a physical store, otherwise, that is not how it's going to work. So what are your money making activities? Where do they fit? And then the last part, as entrepreneurs, you need a block of time for business building activities. That is the internal, you all know I talk a lot about the internal processes, the internal structures in your business that gives you depth and capacity to make more money. Very, very important, right? So you have to now allocate your awake hours in your day to include blocks of time that represent all of these areas, in addition to the mundane everyday activities that normally takes place. Now, when I say blocks of time, again, not every block requires 3 hours. That's another thing that we think we should be doing. Duration of time has to be very long for it to be significant. Let me tell you how my day looks, right? So this morning, for instance, I do have a client in the UK. So I have her very early in the morning on a Monday. I intentionally put her session that day. I don't normally have coaching clients on a Monday. But because of the time difference, it's important for me to figure out where to fit that in. Because I'm aware of how the blocks of time go on my other coaching days, the best day for me to fit that in is on a Monday. Mondays are also my administrative days. Yeah, Chris, I see you get up early every day. Mondays are also my admin days. So it meant that I can actually prioritize a block of time there for this to fit in my client. How do I fit that in? She's at 5 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, 5 a.m. I don't mind because I function very good in a morning session. I think she probably gets the most alert time of the day as it relates to my brain. So I got up at 4, got ready, spent some time praying and stuff, got ready for her, and I went with her from about 5 till just after 6, right? Why did I do that? Because I also am aware that my husband is going to go to work. Now, it's really important for you, if you are going into a relationship or in a marriage, to have this kind of communication, right? So at that point, after that, then the time from when I'm done till about noon is my time for value, my kids. So I spend that time making breakfast, cleaning up, playing, doing whatever I can with them. This morning I did some schoolwork and stuff like that with my kids before 12, and then I had my admin meeting. So today was a little bit different because I had a strategy session as well. So I was able to have my admin meeting at 10, so I had like 3 hours with the kids, an admin meeting, then I had a break, then I had a strategy session, and then the afternoon was the kids. So usually what I do is that I flex my blocks of time depending on what is coming up in my schedule. But otherwise, my blocks of time tend to look like this. In the morning, I have my quiet time as best as I can. Then I do work with the kids. So that kind of worked out when there was virtual school at home. So that was my second block of time. My third block of time was working in my business. And on some days that would include client work. On other days it would include a lot of strategy and planning for things that are in the background. In the evening will be my time of learning. So that may be my time to read, to learn something new. And on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, those are my client times in terms of coaching calls. So when you look at that routine, it also means that in my alone time is where I do my exercising, because that's a priority. In my family time is also where, while doing some stuff for the kids, I'm not going to spend 3 hours doing craft. I'm going to do my cleaning, my cooking, and all that sort of stuff. So that when I actually sit down to get my work done, I am then focusing on one thing at a time to get my work done. Does this make sense to you? So this is how blocks of time work. So sometimes we're trying to do too many things. You have 3 hours of, I literally work in my business only about 3-4 hours per day. But in that 3-4 hours, it is focused on one thing or the other. Now, I spoke in my stories this morning about actually having what I call a push or a pull strategy. So though I have my standard time and I set my goals every single week and I split those goals up into the different areas according to my time blocks, what I do recognize is that there will be times when you become fatigued. There will be times where you may not be hitting all of those goals, especially when it's not just routine things. When it's things that you're supposed to be working on to take you to the next level, you might not be hitting all of those goals. That was happening to me a lot, I would say, from April till about June. March, I did not hit any of my goals, truth be told. Not necessarily like business target goals, but a lot of the developmental things that I wanted to do, that I needed to be working on in my business block of time, I was not hitting it. And what I recognized was happening is that at that point, my brain was a bit exhausted, because we had now been in a full year of some version of a lockdown with everybody being at home. And I recognized that mentally what I was trying to churn out in terms of new products, because my business is highly cerebral, I have to think a lot, it was not happening. So what did I do? What I actually did for April, May, and June is that I actually reduced the amount of goals that I had for those months. I literally focused on one area at a time. Why did I do that? That is what I call my pull strategy. It's when you don't stop, but you pull back a bit, because you recognize that there are a number of things that are around, conditions that are around, that are not facilitating you being able to roll out or implement things the way that you had planned to. So it is almost like understanding yourself, understanding where you're at, and finessing your schedule in such a way that where I have that block of time that's 2 to 3 hours, I can actually now focus on one thing at a time and be more likely to get that done than trying to do 1 hour on one thing, another hour on another thing, and find myself feeling overwhelmed because my brain is trying to do too much. Does that make sense to you? I don't know how many of you have felt tired anytime during this past year. And even though you had the best of intentions and you were setting your goals, welcome blue sky, clear waters, you were setting your goals, you still found that it was not happening the way that you had planned for it to happen. When that is going on, it's okay to pay attention to those signals, not to necessarily stop, but to reduce the amount that you're trying to accomplish, right? And keep moving forward in one area. Why do I say keep moving forward in one area? Because that movement will eventually create momentum. So what I did is that I actually started working on one thing at a time. So let me show you what that looks like, right? One of the things that I was trying to do at that point in time is that I am an executive contributor of Brains Magazine, which is a global magazine. And I was trying to write my very first blog post. But on top of trying to write a blog post, I'm trying to finish some online courses that I'm curating that's halfway done, but I still need to complete it, and a few other things. All of those things for me are very highly cerebral things because I create all of them from scratch. When I realized what was going on, I had to separate everything. So first thing that I focused on was just getting my brain together to get that Brains magazine article done, at least preliminary article done in draft, right? The second thing that I needed to get done in terms of the course, I pushed that back to later in the year because I figured that is going to take even more effort. I need to ensure that my brain is a little bit more in a space where I can push that out quickly because it's not difficult content, but I am fatigued. I had the third project that I was working on was actually my TB program, See, Believe, Build, and I needed to get that completed. So guess what I did? I focused on working with my editor, working with my videographer, after I did the Brains article to actually now get See, Believe, Build completed. Okay? And then the third thing I did, I think I had my own personal blog that I was working on. So those were three. Do you see how many things that were in the pocket of building my business? Because those were business building activities. Hi, Lisha. Those were business building activities, but my schedule, my goals were very heavy on that. And even though I perhaps had the capacity to do that, had the circumstances around me be different, I realized that it was not happening. So what I did is that I pulled back and I took one thing at a time. Now, how many of you all have major plans for your business and you're trying to get all of it done at once? And in trying to get all of it done, you're getting none of it done because, mentally you may not be there. Your schedule might be too heavy. I, of course, was still dealing with homeschool, preparing my daughter for exams and all of that good stuff, right? Plus my baby boy is at home. Hubby had to go back out to work. Those were the circumstances that I'm dealing with. So what did I do? I pulled back and I tackled one at a time. What was the result? In slowing down and pulling back and attacking one at a time, I refreshed myself. My brain is doing much better, people. Doing much better. The next thing that happened is that exactly what I said to you all, movement creates momentum. July, the end of June into the beginning of July, looks like if everything happened all at once. Like, you know what? In the Vision Builder camp, it was just production in 2 weeks' time. Not understanding that you all weren't seeing the behind the scenes of that was literally 3 months of work that all manifested to create this momentum move at one time, having a great impact and push in my business. Why am I sharing all of these things with you? Because I know that on the social media streets, it looks as though people get there in 2 seconds. You don't often see the journey behind the scenes. It looks as though, some people have more time, some people have more resources than others. I believe that we can all achieve similar momentum in our businesses if we understand how to manage our productivity schedule and understand how to understand the environment, the internal and external environment that is supporting us or not supporting us, and pull back or push. So that was an example of me pulling back. Now here's what happened in pulling back. Having pulled back, I was able to refresh myself mentally, emotionally, spiritually. I was always working on my workouts, so physically that was going on. I kept the value areas in place, and where I felt I was not being productive, I reduced what I was trying to do, focused on one thing at a time, and I was able to then get some momentum in that area. That momentum, the repercussions of that momentum is actually now very much being felt. Because when I pulled back, now I have momentum that is allowing me to push forward even faster in other areas. So what does that look like? One of the things that I was trying to get done in March is that I wanted to start writing my book. But I just explained to you what was going on with me in terms of everything that I was trying to do, like those higher level goals were all cerebral and it was causing, mental fatigue. And pulling back and slowly progressing with those, this month, without even trying hard, I started writing my book. Without even trying hard, the words for the book started coming. So after I pulled back, the pulling back and aiming at one goal at a time then gave me the momentum that now I can push forward and accelerate in certain areas. Chris, I'll tell you the name of the book when I'm done. I'll keep you posted on the book, right? I'm sharing this with you all because this is the reality. We are not robots, okay? But time blocks help us to, first of all, put some structure in our days so that we can always keep our hitting the priority areas that we need to hit in our life, the areas of our values, the areas of our progress, the areas of our money making or business activities, and the areas of our business building activities. The second thing that I want you to remember is that even in setting your blocks of time, sometimes it is okay to pull back, reduce the amount that you're trying to achieve in terms of the goals that you would have set for a particular month or a particular week, so that you can actually start to gain some momentum in one area, in one goal. And as you get that momentum will eventually give you the push to accelerate in other areas or the goals that you would have deferred. So this is actually what has been working for me. So when you all see me doing a lot of stuff and a lot of things are coming out, it's not because I'm superhuman. It's because I'm very disciplined about my productivity schedule. And even if there are weeks that I fall off track or intentionally come off track, I am able to get back on because I have embedded this into my process. I've embedded this into my life. I've been doing this for years, guys. So how do you start? How do you actually start now implementing time blocks into your day? First of all, look at your schedule and ask yourself, does my schedule really have structure? Does my schedule really have structure? If I were to live this schedule every single day for the rest of my life, what will I accomplish? That's a scary question, right? If I were to live this schedule every single day for the rest of my life, what would I accomplish? Where would I be? Who would be the person at the end of this schedule in the next 5 to 10 years? Now, if you look at that person and you're not seeing the life that you want, the life that you value, the person who is not only just working but also have a quality of life, then that is a signal that your scheduling, your productivity schedule does not have any harmony in it. It does not reflect, your weekly schedule does not reflect the kind of life that not only are you building your business or working hard, but you are also building yourself up, because without internal resources, without a strong internal reservoir, the truth is you will become depleted because everything is out of harmony. So look at that. Once you recognize that that's not where you need to be, now you need to revisit what are the things that you value. What are some of the valuable things that you need to add into your day and add into your schedule? Write those things down. Because when you create that values block, those are the kinds of activities you need to start embedding in there. We have 24 hours in a day. I'm pretty sure you can give yourself 2 hours to do something of value for yourself. That can be to exercise. That can be to take care of yourself, like to read a book or do something that is relaxation for you or rejuvenation for you. Okay, that is what that is going to look like. That can be prayer. That can be if you're that person who really just needs to be outdoors for a minute, if you are that person, put in the things that you value there. That's so important. Okay, because in a sense you are filling up your tank so that you can go again. Self-care and taking care of the things that you value will not happen by chance. And if in fact you do feel like you are burning out, right? And a lot of us talk about that. We feel like we're burning out. We feel depleted. We feel like I really can't make. Chances are you feel that way because you are not doing things in your life that honors your deep-seated or core values. So you have to look at that. So make this a priority. This is your assignment for this week. How many of you all want to do something for yourself that you have not been taking care of yourself? There's no way on your schedule that there's anything self-care related. How many of you are like that? Let me know. Drop a 1 in the comments if you are like that. You know, you're not making time, you're not taking care of yourself, or you're not making time for the people that you love in the way that you want to make time for them. If that is you, drop a 1 in the comments. This is not to throw shade at anyone. This is because we are now trying to elevate ourselves. So I see you, Mandisa. I see you, Lisha. I see you, Sweet Tea. You don't have a schedule. I think we should talk because you need a schedule. Ella, I see you. We have a lot of people like this. So here's what I want you to do. This is your assignment for the week. I'm giving you no other assignment. Every single day, I want you to go and look at your schedule tonight and decide an hour that you are going to allocate to yourself every single day. Decide if you're going to exercise, decide if you're going to Netflix, decide if you're going to do a foot spa, but I want you to decide an hour per day, something that you are going to do for yourself. Can we commit to that? I see you, Delise, not enough. Can we commit to that? Because there are 24 hours in a day. I am certain that we can give ourselves 1 hour. This is the thing where we say to ourselves, I can't find the time. We don't find the time. We're not going to manifest more time. We're going to make a decision about an hour that we are going to do something beneficial for ourselves. So this is your assignment. Your assignment now is to go look at your schedule, or if you have no schedule, just decide. If you're a morning person, do it in the early morning. If you're a night person, do it late at night. Okay? This is your hour and you're going to put it on your calendar with an alarm. This is your assignment for this week. Because at the very least, we are now going to ensure that we put something in our productivity schedule, have a block of time that is for something that we value. This is how we slowly create discipline. It might be difficult to put in something like a progress area, you know, like reading something or studying something new, because that feels like work. Okay, that feels like work. But if we put in the first thing that we do in reframing our schedule is putting in that 1 hour to maybe exercise. And again, the 1 hour exercise doesn't mean go do Taibo. Go walk, you know, go outside, go walk. Well, you know, Trinidad, we've just received freedom to walk the streets, to take in a sunset. So, you know, go walk, go do something that is a priority for you. Do not overthink it. But this is your hour. If you are married, I will say one of the things that has helped me is having a conversation with my spouse. Say, this is what my schedule looks like. I would like to get this 1 hour to do X, Y, and Z, or I'm working out at this point in time. Can I get this time? Or sometimes when that can't be facilitated, you get up 4 o'clock in the morning and do what you need to do. Because, you know, my kids wake up at 5:30. True story. So, you know, that's what you do, right? So this is your assignment for this week. Once you've done that, I would like you to do that until the end of July. Then in the month of August, I now want you to add another structured block of time. So this can be an area of progress. So is it something that you've wanted to learn for the longest time? Now you go do that, right? Yeah, the boss husband here. So if it's something that you wanted to learn, go do that. That can now be an extension of your self-care or your value system. Or you can add, like maybe you want to do something with your parents, you want to do something with your children. You know, one of the things that has happened to a lot of us is that because we were quarantined for so long, we started taking for granted doing stuff with family members. So maybe you need to prioritize adding that block of time. Now, what does that look like for me? Well, that doesn't mean that every single day we're going to do something fancy, but maybe once a month, well, hopefully when the beach is open, we will do something special with the kids as a family. That's prioritizing a block of time. It doesn't have to happen every single day, but it has to make it onto your schedule so that you can start living a far more harmonious life. So your first assignment is to add from tomorrow 1 hour per day to do something that is of value to you, personal value to you. Add that value block into your life. If you already have that down, like Chris probably has that down already, then Chris, I want you to include into your day one area, one block of time to do something that is progress. Now, this progress thing has nothing to do with building your business. This progress thing has something to do with you, maybe a habit that you want to develop, a personal leadership thing that you want to do. That is something that I want you to now prioritize. So if it's now reading, so progress, right? So Chris is saying explain progress. So progress now, Chris, is a non-business related activity that helps you to grow in your character, that helps you to grow in your knowledge, that just helps you to elevate yourself. So really it helps to prepare you holistically. So that can be starting to read a book. That could be, maybe doing more public speaking. So maybe join something like Toastmasters or rehearsing, those kind of things. That is something like you want to learn something in a progress area. So that will not be fitness for you, Chris. Right? So Chris, if you need a better challenge, look for a better challenge. What is something that you've always wanted to learn, but you've been a little bit intimidated by? That's your progress assignment. That is your progress assignment. If it is that you feel like you need to learn in an area of, maybe I need some more public speaking, do that because you are building a business, right? So when you're building a business and you are a chef, you go and do some public speaking. You want to learn to draw? Chris, go and learn to draw. That's fine. That's a progress area. That might be an area of challenge. So you might be able to do 25 push-ups, but you need to learn how to draw a tree. That is something. So Chris said he can't even draw a conclusion. So you want to find a progress area. Why a progress area is important? It's important, especially as Chris is asking this question. Progress areas always keeps you in a space of growth. So we make growth mindset very complicated, but growth mindset has to do with challenging yourself to grow in an area that is beyond where you're accustomed. So there are some things for me that are pretty easy, right? And then there are other things that are more challenging. So I'll be honest, I think that at present, my training routine and my training regime is very much a growth mindset thing for me, and as an area of progress, because I do have to do a lot of work to attain what I'm trying to attain, and it's not easy. Okay, so it means that I have to make up my mind to push myself past the pain a lot of the times, especially this month. So that's a growth area for me. Whereas go back to school, it is growth, but it's not as significantly challenging for me because I will happily pick up a book and study. Okay, so it's all dependent upon you and what you are trying to accomplish. So you always want to have a progress area happening in your life, so it helps you to just continue with that growth mindset. So your progress area might even be something like learning how to sit still and to be quiet, because some of us, we have a real challenge with that area, like learning how to quiet ourselves, learning how to be alone, learning how to be in our own company. That could be your thing of progress. Okay, so this is where we're trying to go. This is how you build yourself as a person, and as you build yourself as a person, you're better equipped to build yourself as an entrepreneur. You're better able to think through more critically the things that are happening. And if you learn how to manage your time, if you understand how to manage the finite resource of time, then you are also going to learn how to manage the finite resources in your business, to manage your business better. Yeah, because business is also a resource, and it is run on resources. Chris, I see you felt that one. Well, Chris, your progress activity is learning how to sit quietly and do nothing. So do you all have any questions for me? Was this beneficial to you? I would love to hear from you. Was it beneficial to you? Do you have any questions? You can use the little question bubble at the bottom of the screen to ask your questions. Was this a beneficial life to you? You all know that I have to mix it in, right? I have to mix in like the soft skills, the soft management of yourself, in addition to the hard skills of running and building out your business, because it is really an amalgamation. It's really an amalgamation of the both, right? And when you look at all of the millionaires that we look up to, and we think about, and you look at, Grant Cardone, and you look at Gary Vee, and you look at all of these people that we look on as motivational, one of the things that you recognize with them is that they are really high performance in terms of how they manage their mindset, how they manage their time. And basically the success that they're able to achieve is really a replication or a reflection of their internal management. So the best way to start your internal management is to learn how to manage the one resource that we are all on the same playing field with, and that's the resource of your time. Great. Miss Sweet Tea, thank you so much for commenting. Feel free to message me if you want to find out more about sorting out your productivity schedule. Lisha, I'm glad that it was beneficial to you. Here's what I want you all to do for me. I really want you all to tell me what topics you would like me to touch on more as we go through the upcoming months. I would love to hear from you what you would like me to touch on more, like which type of lives you're in need of right now, so that I can definitely start to incorporate that into my plans. So Leisha, I see you said discipline is so important in accomplishing these, and this will help me a lot. I agree. Discipline is one of those words that I think they beat into us really badly when we were children, and we almost struck it out of our vocabulary. But success is really a disciplined life, and we have to really understand how to be. It is really personal leadership. If you think about it, discipline is really personal leadership. Learning how to manage yourself, your thoughts, your actions, so that you can get the result that you want to get, right? Like one of the things in terms of from a scriptural perspective, the Bible talks about train yourself to be godly. And one of the things, train yourself to be godly, really means to beat your body black and blue, which means like if you're an athlete or you're learning something, one of the things that happens is that you get a lot of soreness and wear and tear, because you are now retraining and re-sculpting your body to behave a particular way. So in a sense, when it comes to our productivity and our scheduling, what we are trying to do is to kind of bend our body, bend our mind, bend our actions to support a new way of doing things. So that is really what discipline is. Discipline is a painful thing, but once it's achieved in particular areas of our life then becomes so much easier. I see Blue Skies. Clearwater says, I started 3 times daily, 15-minute blocks for devotions in the month of July. So it's progress time. Congratulations on that. That is really good. That is really, really good. Cherie said, I have a fair handle on scheduling time in terms of work, but as you said, more work must be done on oneself. Absolutely. Because Cherise, you are, let me give you some motivation, Cherise. You are the primary machine in your business. You are the primary machine in your business, not the cake mixer and whatever other materials or machines that you use. So if you don't take care of yourself, then all that you're doing there in terms of work will not exist. Which means that you need to give priority to caring for your body, caring for your mind, caring for all the things that go into keeping you in the best shape, or mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, so that you can keep your business running. So if you think about it like that, if your cake stand, your cake mixer needed servicing, guess what you would do? Service it. If you heard a noise on it before it break down, you would be like, look, let me, use a little oil or whatever it is you're going to use. That's not my field. But you're going to do that and you're going to take care of it. So don't ignore the things that are going on in your body. Don't ignore taking care of yourself, right? Because if you shut down, butterfly tree shuts down. And that is motivation. Chris, I saw you. Let me see. All right, so there's this question from Chris. In productivity, how do you mark or compare your progress? So how I compare my progress is against my broader vision for the year. So while I might not be hitting every single thing, at the exact time that I planned, once I'm able to accomplish it and I'm actually accomplishing my overarching vision, then I know that I'm moving in the right direction and that I'm making progress, right? So comparison or assessing how far you've gotten cannot happen in the absence of a GPS location of your future, which is your vision. Right? The goals are really just markers. They're just landmarks along the way to your vision. So if you are to measure your progress, you have to know where you're headed to. If you don't have a clear destination marked off, then where you end up is where you end up. You will just feel like I'm moving in the right direction. You'll feel like I'm making progress, but you will not be able to measure how far you're getting to. Yeah? I guess this is the same question, like how do you carefully and fairly evaluate your progress? So you evaluate your progress on the basis of your vision, so your overarching vision for the year or your 5-year plan, because that 5-year plan will be broken down with by yearly targets. But then you also evaluate it on the basis of your quarterly, your annual goals that are your markers along the way to that vision. So how do you assess? It's real clear. Like if my goal is to have $100,000 saved by the end of the year, and I now have $5,000, I know how far I've gotten to. So that's a very clear demarcation. In terms of softer areas, if your goal is by this October 31st, which is why you also need specific dates for your setting of your goals. If by October 31st, I want to have had 100 clients, 100 private dining clients by October 31st, 2021, and it's now July, what day is it? 19th, July 19th, 2021, and I have also, I've only gotten to like 20, then it tells you how far you've reached. Now, it doesn't mean that you're failing at your goal. Might not be. It could be, though, that you might have set too high a goal. It was not necessarily realistic. So that is what is going to be helping you to assess. So to make it simple again, how do you know how far you've gotten to? Get your GPS coordinate of your future. That's called your vision. Make it clear, make it specific, make it time-bound, ensure that there are definite markers, so that when you are testing where you are at compared to where you are going, you'll definitely know how you're doing in the process. So that's also why, even though I was able to pull back, when I look at my overall vision for the year, I also know I'm still on track to accomplish all of that by the end of the year. Yeah? Any other questions, everyone? Welcome, Siobhan. Any other questions? So if we have no more questions, I won't keep you much longer. I just want to remind you of your assignment. This week, add one thing that is of personal value to you to your schedule, 1 hour time block. Put that in. If you're that person who shares things to your stories, share it to your stories, tag me. I know Chris tags me in a lot of things, and I appreciate that. Share it to your stories. If you're not that person, just send me a quick DM and say, hey, I included this. This is what I'm working on. and this is how I did this week. And if you fail this week, try again next week, okay? If you fail the next week, try again the following week. Failure to accomplish something a particular week does not mean it cannot happen. Delise knows that I say this all the time. Delayed does not mean denied. Just because I didn't get it this week or the following week doesn't mean I shouldn't try again to get it. You can definitely do it. I'm telling you, as someone who has matured through the process of managing my time to create a productivity schedule, it was not always like this, but here I am now, and I am just as human as you, with the same kind of things that are happening as you, maybe a little bit more than some. But the thing about it is I have learned how to manage my time, to manage my schedule, so that I can actually get things done. So even if you fail to do it this week, even if you set that alarm on your calendar and then you snooze everything in it, snooze, 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 you all know that snooze button, right? Try again, keep trying, set your mind and intentions on it, and it will get done. There will be a day that you will just get it, okay? So have a good evening, guys. Have a great rest of your week. I will see you again next week, Monday. If you are new to my page, just remember that there is a freebie available for you all. I don't know if you're aware of it. I do have a mini masterclass that's available for free. I don't bring freebies out very often. This is maybe my second freebie ever, right? And it is about monetizing your platform. So if you are not sure about how to make these social media streets really pay you, or your YouTube channel or your website, then go to the link in my bio, sign up for your free masterclass, learn, grow, do well. All right, have a great one, everybody. Bye.